The Simpsons Hit and Run was a game that came out in 2003, and it's considered by many to be one of the best, if not the best, Simpsons game ever made. And today, what I have is some PR asset discs that would have been given out to journalists before the game was released. And a little bit different to usual, I'm going to stick these in the computer and I'm just going to show you what's on them. So I've got loads of press discs that don't really have any gameplay features on them, but just have things like information about the game, screenshots and even trailers that I just want to share with you guys. So hopefully this is the first of many. Okay, so the first file just has some artwork of the game, and looking at the dates, they seem to be from around April 2003, and the game wouldn't be fully released until December, so quite a few months before, even before E3, which probably happened in June, I think. So you have a lot of different images, sketches like Burns Mansion and Cemetery, but it's weird because they're all in different formats. There you go, you have a concept drawing of Cletus's truck. So, and one of the reasons that I actually wanted to do this video is because I was hoping that some people would pick out any beta or interesting features, perhaps things that would drop before the final game. I do love the game, but I haven't played it for a long time, so my knowledge of it at the moment isn't that fresh, I must be honest. So if you do pick out anything interesting, please leave a note in the comments because I'd be really interested to hear about it. So there's a construction site, downtown, there you go, I've just seen that one, wrong side of the tracks, awesome theme in the game, if you haven't heard it, probably my favourite piece of music from the soundtrack, family sedan, and yeah, all these seem to be from April 2003. There's a sketch of the Simpsons house in the Halloween level of Springfield, which is actually the last level in the game and possibly the most fun. School, and another sketch of the sedan there. As I say, feel free to pause the video, take a look at any of these images in greater detail. I'm just going to run through it quickly just so I can cover everything, because there's actually a lot of information on this disc, so there's a lot to get through here, so I can't unfortunately show everything for a long amount of time. So some seaside or Squidport sketches, should I say, or render. Oh wow, look at that. That wouldn't look out of place on a lounge wall. That's a bit of art. Very nice. And another. Seriously, that's really cool. I don't think I've actually seen this before. Another view of Simpsons house there. Snake's car coming up. Very nice. Now these cars seem to look final to me. You may be able to spot some small differences, but to my untrained eye they do look very similar to what would appear in the final game. Obviously these sketches are different and they're very interesting. As you can see, it shows a road behind Evergreen Terrace there, which I don't think makes it onto the final game. At least it's not playable or reachable, should I say. There's a trailer park sketch. Wigham's police car. The World War II Jeep. Presume it's not the one with the rocket. Which you can unlock with cheats on the final version of the game. The Volvo car. So that's what we've got in the artwork file. So let's move on to the documents. Now, this is from the 1st of May 2003, so again a long time before the game was actually released. So it tells you some of the characters, or at least all the characters that were going to appear on the game at this point. So Agnes, Apu, plus, and it tells you the alternate outfits as well. I know that characters do have alternate outfits in the final version of the game, but I can't tell you how many per character. Maybe someone else can tell me that. But Brockman in the FMV only. As far as I remember, I think that is true of the final version of the game. I do remember him appearing in FMVs. Bumblebee Man, Burns, Carl, Cletus, Comic Book Guy, Dolph. Who's Dolph? Dr. Hibbert, Dr. Nick, Gil, Grandpa, Homer, plus 5 alternate outfits. Question marks indicate that there were 5 planned. I don't know if all 5 made it into the final version of the game. Itchy, no Scratchy, Jasper Beardley, Jimbo, Kang in the FMV, Kearney, Kodos in FMV only, Krusty and Legs. Lenny, is that Krusty? Is that got a strike through it? Lisa, Lou, Louie, Lou and Louie. Marge and 2 alternate outfits. Millhouse, Mo, Moleman, Ned, Nelson, alternate party, Frank, Quimby, FMV and doorbell only. I don't know quite what it means by doorbell only. Ralph, Rod, voice only. I think if I remember right, Rod and Todd are in some kind of like shelter in Flanders' backyard and you can just hear their voices. I think it's one of the gags on the final version of the game. Oh, that's Scratchy. I guess it's in alphabetical order. Sea Captain, Silver, Skinner, Smithers, Snake, Squeaky voice team, Todd voice only again, Wiggum, Willie, not voiced, Eddie, apparently he's on the game but not voiced, Maggie, obviously doesn't really talk, Generics, there you go. I think that's it for that one. Let's move on, a lot to get through here. So, next up you've got a fact sheet. This kind of gives you like a synopsis of what would happen in the game. It's most probably used for journalists just to be able to write about the game in general, for articles or articles for their magazines or for online. So let's scroll down and see what it says. So the shipping date is September the 9th, 2003. I think that's about the time that it did actually come out. Those screenshots over there are quite early, but we'll get to bigger versions of those later. So, as you can see, here's the main storyline of the game. You can you can pause the video and just read this yourself if you want to know more about it. And then it just gives you some features, tells you what you can do in the game basically. And again, feel free to pause the video, read it. And then this is from June. This is a Word document of the instruction booklet. I imagine this wouldn't be too much different from the final version of the game as well, so I will just scroll through it because I'm sure that if you played the game you know how to get in and out of cars, etc. Scrapbook. Wonder what that contained. Oh, the bonus game. Yes, I remember that. That was quite cool. Races, yeah. Hit and Run, yeah, we know all about that. So this is very long, there's 16 pages. But then each page doesn't really have that much information on it. I presume they are leaving space for screenshots and things like that. So this is from May 2003 as well. This tells you all about the missions that are planned for the game. So this may be very interesting for some of you because you may spot some differences in the mission scripts, things that you have to do. Maybe some things were removed, maybe some things were added. So again, I'd be really interested to know if you guys can pick up anything here. So it tells you about what happens before the first mission starts, and then gives you a load of info about what you have to do in each mission. So this is the first level, and obviously feel free to pause the video, read them in greater detail. Level 2 missions, and there are some interesting comments as well that the game developers have left in. For example, there's some more interesting notes here. So, you know, do they need dialogue to indicate Lisa suspects a government conspiracy? Note that says we need to make sure the situation between Bart and Lisa is clear. Very interesting. Making notes on the proper spelling of Millhouse. And at this point, with mission 3 here, the game designers don't seem to know where the mission is going to end. Level 4, they want to shorten the headlines here. Did they do it or not? You tell me. Again, nothing that immediately stands out to me here, but I'm sure you guys can look at this in more detail. Level 5 mission breakdown. Here, it could be you could have had Apu and Bart in separate vehicles. Again, I'm not sure if that happens or not in the final game, but suggested it's something that was considered at this stage of the game's development. There we go. More of the same. Level 7. Again, my favourite level. If you haven't played the game, definitely play it. Definitely unlock this level because it is really cool. I think the Simpsons do holiday seasons probably better than almost anybody else. So now this is interesting. This is like a breakdown of all the vehicles that were set to appear in the game. So these are in and definitely drivable. So you've got the Bandit, Book Burning Van, Canyonero. Obviously you can read them all for yourself. Again, I'm mentioning Bart's Red Ferrari, which suggests that this vehicle was originally going to be belong to Bart. So again, I think all these cars do appear in the final version of the game. There's World War II Jeep with Rocket, which is only available with in-game cheats in the final version of the game, if I'm remembering right. And then you have a load of traffic vehicles as well, which is interesting. And now this is possibly the most interesting bit. It says, I believe these are planned. The Burns armoured truck, which did that appear in the game? I remember the Cola truck, the Buzz Cola truck, which was armoured. I'm not sure that was a Burns one, maybe I'm wrong. Fish van, again, I can't remember that. Garbage truck, now I do remember there being a garbage truck. Ice cream truck, Itchy and Scratchy movie truck, I know that happened. Nuclear waste truck, yeah, I think that rings a bell. I'm not sure. Pizza van and Vogue Quimby truck. And now, the cars on the final level in the game weren't necessarily always going to be drivable, and you can see why, because they're quite different to all the other cars in the game. So at this point you can see that they may have been drivable. Obviously they would go on to be fully playable, but still it's something that wasn't too sure noticeable. And here as well, you can see some AI only vehicles. So, and again it says some would be accessible with cheats, and I think on the final version of the game all the cars were available with cheats or otherwise. So what have we got here? We've got armoured truck, cell phone cars, chase sedan, cola truck, cube van, okay, curator, donut truck, Duff truck, Black Ferrari, hearse, Christie's limo, milk truck, nerd car, non-upless minivan, police car, surveillance van, charred husk. Okay. I think that's when you destroy a car and you can still drive it. So those are all the documents. And again, you have some logos, then you have some magazine covers as well. So you have Apu when it loads. And I believe these two are the same, and then I think they're just in different file formats. So you have Bart on the Farini, you have... Now this is quite interesting, because on the right hand side you have what would be the final cover of the game, except that it's extended out to the left. Now I don't really know what's going to be in those white spaces on the left hand side, or whether they ever ended up being completed at all. Then you've got the car for Homer, Lisa's Marjorie Stacy car, and Marge's Canyonero. Okay, continuing with the pack shots, you just have GameCube, PS2 and Xbox covers, which is quite interesting. You can notice small differences between the two, or three even, but I think they're all pretty final. So renders, you just have a Simpsons montage with all the characters, which is really cool. I'm sure you can pick them all out there. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You have some screenshots as well. Now, I think all of them can be probably found on the internet. If not, I'm sure I could upload them somewhere. There's absolutely loads here. The file is dated from... that's just the date that I put it on the computer. So here we go. Screenshots range from April all the way to June 2003. So the earliest ones are the interesting because you can see obvious differences like the map, which is some weird radar there. But again, I think all of these are on the internet, so you can look at them in greater detail there. Okay, so I'll just continue to go through them. Obviously you can pick out any differences that might be obvious here. There's Burns Mansion, of course, Hospital. And at this point, with the ones that are dated in June, it's looking a lot more like the final version of the game. See some shots from missions, things in the DMV, collector cards. Wow. Obviously the Halloween level, again, probably my favourite. But as I say, I think all of these are on the internet, so you can probably find them. Now, unfortunately, the trailers folder is empty. I would have loved to have a high quality version of the trailer. So, what a shame. And here you've got some walkthroughs, so you've got a list of where all the gags are, at least generally. Doesn't really give you it exactly. This would have been really interesting to have when I was playing through the game for the first time. You've got the collector card locations, so these are all fairly late, so you're looking at kind of August time for these files. So you've got the collector card locations. Obviously don't look at these if you're intending on completing the game without the use of walkthroughs. So that they all are. Doorbell gags, again, you know, I don't know why it's like that. There you go, you can see them all now. You've got cheats as well, but I think these are just for GameCube, yeah it says. So, I guess the PS2 or Xbox users, you've got to look it up yourself. And again, this is the walkthrough. This is kind of the same thing that we saw before with the mission list, but I think it seems to be more of a final version this time around. So just scroll through it. Again, you can probably see some differences if there are any. Yeah. Level 6, and then finally level 7. That was dated again in August. And then you've got finally the location of all the Wasp cameras. Yeah. There we go. I'm sure if you played the game, you know where they all are already. So, that's it. Thanks for watching.